the last couple episodes, I've been wearing button-ups, and they've both folded right here. So you just
did it? Could you see? I don't think I noticed any.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
brutal.
for some of it. Yeah, just annoying.
Just
a little bit of my
little fuzz hanging out
or chest. The last one I looked good though. I had the buttons down. It was like out.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, You're rolling around the office after just like wide open.
It looked great though.
Miami Vice kind of vibe.
I'm ready to go to Greece.
Are you going to Greece?
Yeah.
Like in the near future?
Yeah.
Like in the summer?
Yeah. That's part of that like 45-day hiatus I'm taking.
Jesus.
Part of it's going to be there.
You make too much money apparently.
No, I don't. I really shouldn't be. I just have so much time.
I got so much time?
Yeah. I can't do this in like 5 years. I won't be able to.
No, you can't. Unless you feel like trucking around I was going to say child, but I don't feel like assuming that's going to happen.
Yeah, 5 years. No, that's still maybe 10 years. That's my like. I'm still man. I'm 26.
Little baby.
Yeah,
little baby.
I still have a lot of time.
You got so much time.
My girlfriend's even younger, so that's like a lot of time.
You got plenty of time.
Yeah, but things happen, and no, I'm not saying no. That's not what I'm saying. I mean like. Life happens.
What happens? Yeah.
And responsibilities kick in, and
kids are a lot of responsibility.
Not kids. No. But other stuff happens. So I'm like, okay, now's a good time. I have time. Let me go. Let me enjoy it. I want to go and like, I'm not saying I want to go party, but I want to.
Vancouver really fucked you up, huh?
Dude. No. I just, it's not just Vancouver, it's not just the last few weeks, but I stopped that whole part of my life for a while, and then COVID happened, and I was forced to stop, and then things sort of came back to normal, and like now I'm seeing like my whole circle, and it's changing a lot, and people are having babies, getting married, and like that's starting to happen, and I'm like, it's scaring me a little bit because I'm not ready.
Live the last bit of life before it's not over. Don't worry.
No, it's not gonna be over. But I mean, you know what I mean. Like, I have this, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to muster up everything and do it. Yeah. I'm not balling out like that yet. Maybe one day.
Well, where else are you going? I'll decide how balling out you are.
They're not balling out stuff. One thing is
and
cottage, but I'm not paying for the cottage.
Yeah,
so
it's always good to have a friend with a cottage.
Yeah, that's fine. And then the other thing is undisclosed. I can't say what it is, but it's expensive.
Okay, we're just gonna call it balling out. He's going to Dubai or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyways,
now you got me thinking. What is it?
There's no way you'll ever guess.
Undisclosed.
Anyways, the real estate market.
Dun dun dun. It's fine. It's all fine.
So here's the deal, right?
Okay.
It is both the worst it's been in 30 plus years and also the best it's been in a recent memory for two different reasons. So it's for the exact same reason that plays both parts.
Yep.
So
depends
what's happening is
you are, right?
The interest rates have gone up so high, and they're now predicted to become even higher. Well, what that means is prices should come down. There's less money supply. People could make other investments that are, hypothetically safer and just sit in an account, and the government will pay you, what is it now, 4%, 5%, like whatever it is.
I think it's 5%, yeah.
Pretty good. That's pretty good return for a relatively safe investment. So prices should come down. However, now that there's less money in supply and people don't have easy access to it like they once did, that means developers don't have as much access. And since house prices are theoretically supposed to come down, developments have just totally stopped, or in a large part slowed down a lot.
Certainly slowed down.
Yes. Yeah, they haven't stopped, but they've slowed down. And we were always in a housing crisis, that we didn't have enough housing. So it's pulling on both sides. Yeah. One is saying prices should drop significantly, and the other one is saying, where am I going to live?
Yep.
So what's going to happen?
It's really... who
wins?
It's nobody. I think that's the problem.
That's the thing
it's I don't know if that's not really win-win. It's kind of lose-lose from really all sides at the moment. But yeah, like we kind of thought for a moment, right, that we were in a bit of either a rate pause scenario, or sometime we kind of thought maybe it's going to start going down sooner than originally predicted, right? These bank predictions over the next several quarters seem to have a pretty positive outlook for a period of time, I would say early Q2 this year. And as we're heading into the tail end of it, heading into Q3 now, all of a sudden, all the banks that were offering like really great discounts from their rates for their fixed, that those discounts disappeared. But not only did the discounts disappear, bond yields went up, and then the base rates have gone up as well. So we've seen like a full percent jump in the last not much over a month. In what was available from fixed rates.
Used to be 4.7, 4.8.
Yeah, we could get 4.8, and now we're
June.
5/8, and then predicted to continue to climb even further, potentially low sixes for the fixed rates from some of the big banks in the coming weeks, which is a massive shift, a massive hit to people's affordability. And we're not even talking about like the Bank of Canada prime rate, which influences the variable rates, right?
Yeah.
Because all of our numbers we've been running have been based off of a short-term fixed rate, like short to mid-term 2-3 year fixed rate lately. Because for so long, the gap didn't make any sense to take a variable, right? Because the variables have been in the sixes for a while.
The fixed was 4.5.
And now the fixed is also in the sixes, and you're a quarter point between the two. So, I mean, there's a decision-making point there, but that's not the issue. The issue is now all capital is significantly more expensive. And it's a fear kind of thing that ripples throughout the market too, right? We saw it last year as rates started to climb originally, and the sky was falling. And I mean, I see where you say it's good and bad depending on what side of the coin you are, right? Because now, earlier in the year we had no inventory, so prices went up. Our common problem is we very seldom have inventory, but so prices go up. Well, prices go up, so sellers say, I'm going to start to sell some properties because I want to be able to capitalize on this. Great. Those went well for a while. Now more sellers see that. Those properties start to come to the market. Now rates go up. Some people are starting to sell because they have to sell. Like a lot of people are already beyond those trigger rates, and that's going to continue to climb. And trigger. We talked about a different terminology this morning too. Trigger rate and trigger point. So that's a new one. Trigger point this is even worse when the value on your property is, because let's say you refied last year at all-time highs, or early last year, right, at all-time highs, when the value of the property is less than your current mortgage, even though you had it at 20%, 80% loan to value. So you're now over-leveraged, you're over 100% loan to value on your property, and your bank is saying, hey, you got to bring this back in line. What if I don't have the capital to do that? You just want me to make a lump sum payment on my mortgage? I can't do that. I'm still making the payments. Leave me alone. But those are things that are starting to happen now, right? So there's pressure on the sales side. And I think we're also seeing now a lot of people are trying to kind of catch the final wave, right? And final wave sounds way too final, right? But they're trying to catch the little bit, this spring's final wave before kind of summer hits, rates go up. So more properties are coming to market. If you can qualify, it's going to be a great time. Lots of stuff on the market. Buyers are on vacation. Rates are up. So it's going to be a lot less competition on the buyer side and a lot more dilution over a lot more new listings. So there's the plus, right? There's the good part of this equation is summer, kind of like last summer, should be a good buying opportunity if you can make things work, if you can make the numbers still work, because you're likely going to be buying at a bit of a discount. Now, how long are we going to stay here? Another question. Who knows? How much more are the rates going to go up? Who knows? And does any of this solve the underlying problem? No. We have to your point, less people are building new homes. So eventually it's all going to circle back around. All of this stuff we're able to buy for cheap kind of in the summer, if you can actually qualify, I think it's a very short-term problem, right? It's kind of a blip on the radar. We still ultimately have a supply crisis. We don't have enough property or enough property to purchase or to rent for the new people that are coming into the city. And the people that are here have seen, due to rate increases, the rental rates have gone through the moon lately.
You touched something. I want to hop off before I lose it. You talked about how does this solve the underlying issue? No. technically what the Bank of Canada cares about is inflation. Right. So we're in a westernized country, and the Western school of thought is that constant growth is needed to keep a society going, keep an economy going. We're built on debt, so we need growth. If we stop growth, it's bad. If we have too much growth, it's bad.
Right.
We need that certain amount of growth with inflation and GDP. So they're trying to combat that. What the Bank of Canada doesn't care about is what's going on in our housing prices. I mean, it matters.
That is a component
in
of
their
it,
function.
Right? It is a component of overall inflation and such.
In the equations that they run to balance everything and forecast, that's part of it, but it's not everything.
Yeah.
So they need to take this all into account. So they realize that what they're doing is going to cause a lot of pain for everybody, because house prices should most likely still remain high. Is there gonna be a price correction? Perhaps, but like we saw last year, 25% correction goes down, and then months later, 15, 17% correction back up.
Yeah.
So yes, there was still a net negative in house prices for the first time in a long time, but it wasn't quite as significant as expected. So the Bank of Canada understands that they're fluctuating this, but by fluctuating that, they're also causing a strain on housing supply, which is what we need. And for the most part, affordable housing, because what happens is, okay, people who locked in rent-controlled leases, which is a large proportion of the city, they might be okay if they were 5-10 years ago. Anybody looking for a lease now, even from 2 years ago, you're looking to spend $500, $600, $700 more per month.
Oh, 2 years ago is a big difference.
2 years ago, maybe not the low. Like let's take away take away the COVID.
Even let's say either pre-COVID,
people were non-essential. Right? Remember that?
Yeah. Oh. Pre-COVID. Pre-COVID is a good before the COVID dip of rents. It's still gone up quite dramatically since then, right? Because no one's moving. Why would you move if you've got locked in rent?
No one's moving.
No new units for you to move to, and thus the cycle. But from both sides too, right? If you lower rates as the Bank of Canada, and I think we're starting to see this a lot, that our market has become so emotional and tied to what happens with interest rates, whether or not it's a big swing or not. If anything happens with interest rates, that tends to, it adds enough emotion, enough fuel to the already volatile fire that we go down 25 and then we go back up 17 or whatever it is, right? We go down 25 because rates are rising. That's scary. People don't even care. You can mitigate that by buying right and getting a fixed term on your mortgage, for example. But the second that rates go up, people just kind of not everybody, but a lot of people just stop doing anything in the market. So therefore prices start to come down. And the moment that rates plateau, it's like the buying frenzy started all over again. This is kind of what happened earlier this year. Rates plateau, that's immediately just good news. Let's go buy stuff. You're completely ignoring fundamentals on both sides of the equation. And now rates starting to go back up again. Not a huge jump, 25 basis points, maybe another 25 basis points to come. But people are starting to get quiet again all of a sudden because, oh no, I'm scared. Back to another volatile spike. And then what happens in the future when rates start to plateau again? God forbid they go down. Off we go, right? Yeah. It's just going to be, and now I don't know. It's something that I've started to notice over the past couple of years, and I think you can do well by paying attention to it and realizing that it's going to happen again on both sides. It's the age-old real estate goes up and down all the way up, whatever. You just have to kind of watch for the swings and know that it's eventually going to swing back the other way. Not at all. Absolutely not. What I'm saying is just realize that people are emotional and doing emotional things. And if the price goes down because rates go up, it doesn't mean that everything's a bad buy because rates go down. You can often find kind of a diamond in those periods of time because nobody else is out fighting for them. Just be safe.
Just keep
in what
fighting.
You're doing.
That's
just keep looking fighting. And be safe and analyze appropriately.
You can find the diamond in the rough no matter what the market is.
Always.
Yeah, really, that's kind of the moral of the story, I guess, is the person who's training more than the person that's not training is going to at some point become better off. So, there are people that are hurting, and there are people that are going to hurt a lot. And it's unfortunate because it was just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's really what it is.
I mean, I
over
think
leveraging, stretching yourself too much.
That.
For sure.
I think there's lessons to be learned for over leveraging, for how to play safe, how to risk off, how to risk mitigate in certain scenarios.
Yes, but also just going back to the point of if you bought a property, even as an end user, and you're spending, let's say, $3,000 a month when you bought it for your mortgage, and now you're spending $5,000 or more, $6,000. That's way beyond the point of affordable and non-affordable anymore.
Yeah, well, I mean,
right? for the average income earner, that's like, hey, I can't pay my bill anymore.
Yeah, at the pace that things went up, I mean, we know we were stress testing mortgages 2 years ago at 5.25%, right? I mean, that now they're being stress tested at like 8 and change, 9, maybe even 8 and change, depending on where you're going. But we're beyond those people that were stress tested at 5.25. If they were on a variable at the time, they're like, for the first time in who knows how long, have been pushed so quickly beyond what they were even stress tested at, right? Significantly beyond in a lot of cases where they were stress tested at. So yeah, absolutely, there's people that are going to be feeling the pinch. And I mean, there was approvals coming out that were stress tested that you were like, I would get an approval on a mortgage and be like, I can't afford this. What do you mean? You're not going to give me this much money. This is absurd. So I mean, and then on top of those payments actually doubling in a lot of cases, right? So
there are people that got caught in the wrong place at the wrong time. A lot of them. And unfortunately, you know, I had a conversation with one of our mortgage representatives that we work closely with. And I was thinking it's going to be pretty bad. And from his numbers, also pretty bad, but not as bad. And the big thing, I think we're both, my whole argument to it is that, look, it's not just one section of the housing industry that's going to be hurting. If you've owned the property for 15 years and you've paid off your mortgage to an extent, your hurt's going to be not as bad. You're probably going to weather this one. But if you bought in the last 3-4 years, even as a primary, like an end user, an investor, whatever it was, you're going to be hurting with zero mistakes made. And the issue is that even if it's, let's say, 15-20% of our population gets really impacted, where I mean they lose this house, they have to sell, they lose tons of money, which I think it might be somewhat accurate of a guesstimation. It's not, you know, I'm just going by what I think will happen. What's most likely going to happen is that the first people, the front lines there, are getting screwed. They're losing everything, and then the government will come in and save the rest. So you just kind of want to hold off as long as possible, hold off on for dear life, do whatever you can to get by, because most likely there will be some sort of bailout, unless the government / the Bank of Canada /
they just want to set it all on fire.
Just wants to set it all on fire. Which
no, they're going to see the first few people on fire and start to be like, we can't have
and then,
our
you know,
entire
the
country
Lehman
doing
Brothers,
this.
like that. That's what happened in the States. You saw the first go, and then all the other banks. Was it Lehman? I don't know. Lehman Brothers. Yeah. The first went, and then everything else got bailed out. Yeah. So that, I don't know. That's something to keep in mind. I don't know how they're going to bail it out. I don't know what they're going to do. Can't just lower rates then after, because
that comes back to the same problem. They're kind of trapped, right? If you raise rates, inflation goes up, right? I mean, up, down, but still down, also your rent's going up.
If you raise rates, inflation should go down.
But it should. I mean, at least very, very local for the least part. Rents go up. People get screwed, so they got to sell houses. So the house price comes down, but rents go up.
Now there's less supply because there's less landlords
and less people are building. So long term, it's more of an issue.
Now more rents. Yeah.
But then at the same time, rates go down. Sorry. And then money's free again, so everyone's buying all sorts of stuff, and then prices start to skyrocket.
Do rents go down then?
Rents never go down. There's another issue altogether, right? The only time I've ever seen rents go down were COVID. And rents only went down, again, very locally. When rents went down here, it just kind of traded, really. I don't know that you could, I've never done the calculation to compare it to outside, but I don't know that it necessarily went down. Money just moved to a different place. Rents went down here, but they skyrocketed in kind of the rest of the GTA and the outskirts. And then that swang back immediately as rents started to climb here. They started to go down in the other cities.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like Waterloo, the rent prices are actually kind of similar to here.
Yeah.
I mean, for condos at least, which
it's nuts.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Who's affording? Anyways, I digress. We're getting too depressing now.
Yeah. So what's the good news?
It's voting day. I don't know if it's good news. It's just news.
It's
just news.
Come on.
It's not terrible necessarily, but
it's so bad. We have who's in the lead now?
Chow, but Bailau I think is like coming up.
Bailau.
Anna Bailau. I don't know how you say that.
Is she closing in?
Yeah, she's number 2 I think at the moment.
Really? And
at least in like
Fury
the
guy
polls.
is just super far off now.
In the poll, but I think he's right behind.
Well, when this comes out, it's going to be. We're already going to know.
Yeah, the voting's today, right? Polls, Toronto.
We post them a week late, which we should probably try posting them more.
Oh well.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, I can't find the polls real fast. That's okay. I know those were the top 2. And that Fury guy was up there somewhere.
So what do you want?
Bradford is like 5 or 6.
Do you want no bike lanes?
Then you've
got
another like
taxes?
300 people after that, and then 2 of them have been arrested or whatever. See,
Gong.
Gong had a big, he had like a truck at the Pride Parade or something, but it was like, yeah, and it was literally had like pride flags on it, but then the entire thing was just like covered in vote for Gong signs. Come on, bud.
That's just hilarious.
Support or advertise, but maybe don't do both at the same time.
I back it.
It was
like,
so.
I've never seen. Okay, so
such a
Mr. Gong,
and then the other guy. What's his Sky? Chrissy Sky.
Chris Guy.
Who got? I think he got arrested again
Chris
recently. Yeah. Neck tats and
he got punched in the face.
real
You see
bright
that
teeth.
video?
No.
Someone bitch slapped him because he spoke bad about the Raptors' dad. Sorry, not a raptor, a rapper. Not Toronto Raptors. A rapper's dad. He said it was like I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I don't want to get slapped in the face. But then the guy found him and literally put a camera in his face, called him out,
World
and
star.
just slapped
Boom.
him. Yeah.
Hilarious.
That guy's a piece of work.
Oh well, democracy.
Yo,
everyone can,
and I agree. Yeah, he should be able to run. I'm totally fine with him running. Also, that guy has the personality and the face. You know, when you were in school and there was that one kid that everyone was just like, "Oh my god, I hope this kid doesn't come in class today because he's so annoying." You know, like just like the kid that's like thinks he's being funny, but
but it's really just kind of like causing a ruckus and annoying everybody.
Yeah,
teacher, students, everybody.
Like he's the guy that like he always has that smirk on his face. You know,
it's because of the teeth.
It's because of his veneers.
Yeah.
He just looks like such a weasel, you know. And like I have nothing against you, Chris. Honestly, maybe I have some stuff against you. I think you're spreading misinformation a lot of the time, and that's not good. But do whatever you want. But he just his like cronies are gonna be.
It's gonna come get
followers. I don't think he has those type of followers.
I have no idea.
You're the one that loves him.
No, I just see his signs.
Don't
and
you
they
have
kind
a sign up at your house?
Oh my god! Somebody close by does though. Like I see the signs and I'm like,
what?
Yeah,
dude. There was one so I live on like an intersection, right? The intersection, the corner across from mine, one of the corners across from mine. There was one of his big signs put up, and then the next day it's cut in half. Like
he's a very divisive character.
He's a very divisive.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
No, I
think
then if you got neck tats, wear a collared shirt when you take the photo for photo day for your sign, or you run with it.
Neck tats are sick. Yeah.
Just go for it.
Yeah, I back the neck
tats and the veneers and the whole vibe.
The veneers. And like fuck
the Sky nickname.
Sure.
Does it say? I think
it says his last name, Sacobella or something.
Sequoia or some Gokia.
Or his family, they have money. They're from like Vaughan or something. They own this company that. Yeah.
I don't know how we got here. It's voting day. Hey.
Yeah. And so here's my issue. You know, there's Olivia Chow, who's like pretty left wing. I don't think there's someone running there's probably a couple of people out of the hundreds.
I'm sure
more. But she's pretty left wing. Like
there's a line where you go too much, and then people are like, they're also not taking you seriously if you're too far on either side of the equation, right?
So there's her. I don't know anything about pretty much anyone else other than that Fury guy. Is that his name? See, I don't even know.
Yeah, something. I don't know.
Fury.
I think Nick Fury. No, but that's not.
No, it's not
Michael Fury or something. I don't know.
Fury.
Damn. I would vote for Nick Fury. 100%.
No, not after what they did to him. The cat. Come on.
That's fair.
That's the worst. That is the worst writing I've ever. Anyways, Not talking about Marvel, but
New show now. It just started.
no. Anyways, back to the Fury guy, whoever he is. I don't know why are the like right-wing politicians so against bike lanes? I have such a big
I don't know
bone to pick with that, because and I hear it too.
It reminded me.
There's so much misinformation around bike lanes. Everybody's like, "Oh, you put a bike lane and every small business fails."
What?
Like, I don't think that's how it works. And or people are like, "Oh, you're taking away a lane of traffic. Like, there's going to be so much more traffic." That's not how it works. The whole point is to make it easier for people to commute by bike, which then more people will end up doing, because it's so not safe to ride your bike on a street with no bike lane. Like, it is extremely unsafe. You're riding your bike at what, 20 kilometers an hour, and there's this vehicle that's like a weapon whipping by you at 60 or 70. That's if they're close to the speed.
Even like existing bike lanes, but with no barrier of any kind.
They're terrible. Yeah. They're terrible. Or the worst ones, the most unsafe, are the ones that have the bike lanes painted on the road, but it's in the same lane.
Yes.
So it's just saying that bikes have the same access as a car.
Whenever you got those, and the bike lane is on the outside, but then there's one by me where the right turn lane opens up, but on the other side of the bike lane. Yeah. So you as the bike have to cross through a lane of traffic. Yeah.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And what they've done on Bloor Street, like by your area there on the Danforth, it's actually amazing. It is great.
Yeah, like bikes. The bridge, the overpass, like
the bridge. Like even at the Danforth there, they have like a separation. There's the cars parked, and then the bike lane.
Yeah, bike is on the inside. It's annoying because then the only annoying thing is you door somebody. I would much rather be hit by a door than a moving vehicle.
I would much rather
be hit by nothing. Yes, but if I had to pick the two,
also possible.
Then I would rather.
Yeah. No, it's a lot safer though. Like I feel okay. I have to be aware of someone opening the door. Easy. Not have to be aware of someone making a cross here and hitting me from behind and all this and still looking for doors, because you still have to look up. It's just the whole argument against bike lanes is all from misinformation, and it's all talking points from right wingers that don't live in the city center. If you live in the city center, you realize how fundamental bike lanes are and how they're needed for any city to grow. Okay, we have to remember that Toronto used to be a parking lot. And this was not like, I'm not talking about 100 years ago. I'm talking about like 30, 20,
not long
25,
ago.
30 years ago. Even when I was younger, I remember driving downtown, Bremner, anywhere around the Scotiabank Arena. Those were no condos there. There was no ICE condos. It was all parking lots.
Maybe that one's for the better.
They were all parking lots everywhere there, right? Like everything was a parking lot. Sure.
Yeah, not like for when you started that, I think I thought like traffic parking lot, but truly they were physical parking lots. Yeah. Which I can go on about how terrible efficient use of land.
City planning was absolutely awful. North American city planning is so bad. It's so bad because it's all based around the car, and the car is so inefficient.
Yeah, we don't need to get back to the 15-minute cities, but I think it's when you plan new, it's different, right? When you
plan old,
when you see new, but like
plan old. Look at European cities. There's a reason that they're all walkable. It's because they were made before the car. But now,
I mean,
think about our cities here. What's the next big city next to us? Mississauga.
It's all car.
Try walking Mississauga.
Yeah, you can't.
You cannot. No. You cannot. That's
anywhere that's
the
really
most unwalkable
not
city.
Like, where else aside from Toronto
Hamilton.
or any? You have to be core downtown in any other city. Like, and it's a very small
Hamilton,
core downtown.
Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver.
Yeah.
Quebec City.
Yeah. And anything new-ish, but let's say 60s, 80s, what you've got to be. It's a very small core, which is the 100-year-old part of that town. Yeah. Right. It's the like downtown Main Street that's had 100-year-old buildings.
You've talked about it actually. There's been a switch. Regent Park.
Regent Park. Or new, very new, and built with that 15-minute city kind of in mind on
everything
the build.
You need.
Regent Park is a very, very good example of that.
It's an amazing
switch from what it used to be, and then the whole redevelopment. I know, same. Regent Park is a very good use of the whole master plan redevelopment.
An awesome field. They have every store you need. It's not far from Subway. Yeah. It's a 15-minute walk.
You don't need to ever leave.
You don't really
by foot, especially, but
you could.
You can, and you have lots of transit access. your access
Close
to
to
main
highway.
roadways if you do
really
need to
need to, yeah.
use your car. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
we need more of that, and it's happening. It's happening. I mean, if you go downtown Toronto now, it's happening.
So who's doing it? Vote for who to do that? Because
doesn't
it's
matter.
not going to matter because this is
They're
going
not
to come
gonna
out
win.
afterwards anyways.
Well, they're also not going to win. It's probably going to be Olivia Chow, who's actually she's a bike laner, so I'll give her that. But also,
she's
also
affordable housing or something. There's a whopping 25,000 units over the next like 6 years or 8 years or
oh my
something like
God,
that.
Rip. That's so. It's brutal.
Drop in. That's like the definition of a drop in the bucket.
Yeah, that's like I'm gonna solve world hunger. Here's a sandwich. Are you hungry?
You know who's doing a better job? You ever seen the guy that does like, I'm gonna make a batch of pasta and double the eggs every? I don't know why I keep seeing this on my like YouTube shorts. Did one with Mr. Beast recently because he hit a certain number, but he's like making a batch of pasta and then he gives it away. But then he doubles the eggs every round. Yeah, now he's up to 10,000 or something.
Oh, that he donates.
Yeah, but doubles the eggs that it takes to make the pasta dough. And they have a whole video on making the pasta dough and then making the pasta.
Double the eggs?
Every time, every video. Video 1 is like a couple, and then video 2 is doubled, and video 3 is doubled from video 2, and now he's up to like video 12 at 10,000 eggs or something.
But how does his pasta look?
Incredible. And it takes a fucking warehouse to make the pasta. It's like
batches. It's not like the same amount of pasta he's making.
No.
Yeah. I was like,
what is this garbage? 10,000 egg, one noodle. No. It's just so much more pasta that gets made.
And then he gives it away?
Yeah. He did a lot. He did like the homeless, like to food shelters and things.
Oh, nice.
He's doing more than, the drop in the, it's still a drop in the bucket, which is sad, but
100%.
It just made me think of that, which is cool. And also crazy videos to watch when you bring in, it takes like days to have people crack like 10,000 eggs to make pasta. Anyways,
that's pretty cool.
It was a cool channel.
I love things like that.
Yeah.
And we can't rely on our government to do things like that. And then that's okay. I think that's okay. I'm all for a smaller government. I'm okay with that. Because I think there's so many inefficiencies and we're seeing all of it. We're seeing all of it play out. They literally called, just remember this, okay? They told you that your job is not mandatory and told you stay home, while they told others that it's fine. They put your life on hold and said, "Hey, here's $2,000, and oh, by the way, actually, you didn't even deserve that."
Some of them, some of you give it back.
Yeah. They told you that. What? Yeah. Like where are we living? So that stuff, I'm totally for, and I know I sound like a big right winger, and I'm not at all. I just went on a rant about bike lanes. Okay, so I'm definitely not. I'm definitely not like that. I believe in like human rights and stuff. Yeah, maybe I'll create my own party.
Is that a crazy theory? Human rights?
Isn't it?
This is wild.
Well, isn't it? Well, no, isn't it?
Those crazy human rights.
Isn't it crazy how like there's nobody that's in the center? Like even here,
I feel like there used to be, but you don't get anything by being in the center. Like it's not exciting in the center. Like you have no support because you get hated by both sides.
That's true.
But I think the logical people,
the rights like bike lanes.
Yeah, I know.
Commie,
but those you have to be so aggressively one side or the other to get the support of that side. But I don't know. I feel like anyone that I think is like actually a logical thinker ends up being maybe a little bit leaning to one side or the other, but a fair bit more.
Yeah, I might be leaning a little more right now, but that's also because of everything that's happened in the last like 4 years. So I feel like everybody's kind of swayed a little bit. I had this conversation with one of our baristas about cancel culture.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
I mentioned that it seems like we're swinging back.
Yeah.
Like not we're swinging back. Everybody in general is kind of swinging back. Where we saw like for the last 4 years, 2-3 years ago.
I think I said
not like cancel culture. Like obviously
if
there's
you
that. Like,
you do something that's truly fucked up. You deserve to not be respected by people and not be supported in the media and things. Canceled.
That's fine.
Great. But to be canceled over something that's like, I said this for a while, that like people just need more problems.
Yeah.
Like people didn't have anything to worry about. So they were like, let's find something that's wrong with the way that you did this or whatever that truly wasn't like actually hurting anybody. And I mean, if you are actually hurting somebody and doing douchey things, then cancel. Great. But now we got problems. Now we got kind of starting to have some real problems. And look at that. All of a sudden,
like,
the little shit doesn't matter so much, right? You can't sweat the small stuff as much when you're trying to pay your rent.
That's fair. There's much bigger problems now. I saw this one video and it's this guy, like a provocateur
Okay.
type, like those guys that just go out and interview people. Hey, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
So he went up to these two younger girls, probably like 20, and like partiers, it looked like, or they were going to like a festival or something. But like they were fine. They weren't like drunk. They weren't obnoxious. They were just talking. And they asked them, would you ever date a white guy? And they were like, oh no, I would never do that. And the guy's like, okay, why is that? And they're like, oh, because they're, I can't remember the term, but it was just like, because they're gross or something like that. They're like, whatever. And he's like, okay, well, what if I said that, but I used black instead of white? Is that racist? Right. And she's like, yeah, that would be racist. And he's like, so is it not racist if you use that with white? And she sat there and looked at him and she goes, you're right. I was just racist. Like, yeah, I learned from that and I shouldn't be talking like that. You're absolutely. And it was the most productive conversation that I've seen where, it's easy to be like, get caught up in this, whatever ideology is being pushed out there and being like, oh my God, everybody around me is thinking this. Me too. Like, I'm literally, me too. Like you get caught up in this wave of how everybody thinks. But then when you step back and actually just have a conversation, a very calm, the guy wasn't mad at her. Right. He was just like, hey, maybe what you're saying.
Just use some logic and think our way through without,
and
acting
you can
emotionally.
see the video of her face change, like,
being like,
I get it now. Like, yeah, you're right. That was uncalled for. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of good going on, and I think the swinging's fine. I think back and forth is fine. I think that's how you grow. That's how you that's how you avoid situations like other countries. We have the constant swinging. Yeah, we're constantly fighting.
We learn. We swing and we learn.
We're allowed to rip on our government and not get killed. Or put in jail. That's amazing. I just ripped on like 4 different mayoral candidates,
and you will still be a free man next week.
Oh, we'll see. Depends who gets elected.
Yikes. And we'll leave it there.
Thanks.
See you.